Hi, I'm Papa Hiker and welcome to my video series on how to use a tarp as your shelter. Come on man, it's your holiday. You're not there to suffer, you're there to have fun. In this video I show you 5 different ways to set up your tarp so that you can camp in a roomy environment, still feel at home in the outdoors and sleep in style. Also, I will answer some questions that I get in reaction to my videos. Hey, how does this work? Do you not have a ground sheet? So I'll show you in this video how you actually use a tarp in a camping system. And the first pitch that I show you is this one. It's called the Toque tent. It's a classic because it's featured in Holden's document on tarp pitching. It's really easy to do and it offers a lot of height inside. So much that you can almost stand up. Definitely suitable for living the good life, having a fire in front of it, enjoying your evening and relaxing and kicking back. Also, it's easy to do. Let me show you how. If you want to increase the width at the foot end, it's easy by stretching out these tie-out points. The shape of your shelter will change, so you need to readjust the rest of your stakeout points. And if you use that technique with a smaller tarp, and also instead of doing the square configuration at the front, you do an A-frame configuration at the front, you get a very different pitch that I call the A-frame Toque tent, and you can see it in this video. This is the Beaked Forrester. To distinguish it from the normal Forresters, I call this one the Beaked Forrester, and the other I will call it the Classic Forrester. Now the Beaked Forrester, as you can see, looks really cool. It's super livable inside. I really like it. If you put it up on a campsite and you meet other people, they will definitely comment on your super cool tarp pitch. Awesome! One of the advantages of the Beaked Forrester is that in wintertime you can actually feed a chimney through it so that rain doesn't fall on your stove, on your wood stove. So it's really suitable for winter camping, albeit that it is of course not entirely closed down. Now, it takes a lot of practice to do the peak well. The further you move the peak forward, the steeper this angle is going to be. If you move it backwards a lot, this is going to be, which is really hard to tie off unless you have a tree. So that does take a little practice. If you're going for ease of setting up, I recommend the classic Forrester. And one of the advantages that the classical Forrester has over the Forrester with a beak is that the classical Forrester is easier to make. The classical Forrester has the adaptable front, so you can open it up when you have a fire, close it down when it rains. In the evenings when you have the fire going, the opening is like this. And then at night when you go to bed and the fire is low, you want more protection, you can take the whole thing down and even clip some of it together so that you have more enclosedness and still have an opening. This is the Arrowhead. The Arrowhead has very steep sidewalls and an efficient floor plan. This makes it a very roomy shelter, roomier in fact than the Forrester or the V-Fly. Now this one, the Adirondack windshed, much like my personal favorite, the Arrowhead wedge. The difference is that this one has shorter ridge lines, which makes it a bit stronger, and it has a partial ground sheet. There are a lot of videos on this one online, so I won't go into much detail, but this is a good option if you want to have a roomy but stable shelter and you're enjoying the campfire, enjoying a fishing trip, etc, etc. what the Adirondack wind shed, do I pronounce that correctly? Please tell me how to pronounce it. And the Arrowhead wedge have in common is this wedge on the front that you can either pull down or flap over top of it, depending on conditions and whether you have a fire going or not. Now onto the part where I show you how a tarp is actually used in a camping situation. You may think of camping as tent camping, where you have a tent that has an outer and also an inner with an integrated bathtub floor. These are backpacking tents, usually heavier, but nowadays still quite light. And they're great things. I love them. I own 5 or 6 of them. Great stuff. But the modern take on lightweight camping is different. Just like back in the day, you have a separate outer that you can pitch in any configuration that you like, and then you combine it with something inside that fits the circumstances. So in this case, it's dry out, not expecting heavy wind, and there are also no bugs. What I can choose to do is just have a ground sheet inside, and that's it. So this is a ground sheet. It's made of tyvek, very lightweight, not waterproof, but very water resistant material. Also because it's white, you can see which side is most dirty and you can sleep on the other side. I use that setup a lot. I have done so in the past in very, very bad conditions, and I had great success with that. When you're doing that, sleeping on only a ground sheet, bugs can be a problem, of course. So very simple, use a bug net over your head and sleep that way. Many people really don't like this, but in colder conditions I personally have no problem with it at all. Do like to sleep with a hat that also has a visor like this one, so that it doesn't hang in my face when sleeping. And the next step up in protection is a full inner or a bivvy bag. And I specifically pitched my tarp inside out to be able to connect my bug bivvy to the inside of my tarp. Thank you for watching. Do subscribe to my channel. See ya, Papa Hiker.